Good morning and welcome to another video, and again I've got Zoe's help. Say hello, Zoe.
Hi.
What I thought I'd do is, yesterday was, well, we managed to get some footage, but
Yeah, we finished the cupboard. Try and show you. There you see, and we plastered around it.
plasterboarded around it. We've also done all the scrim tape up there as well. So the second floor is now prepped. I've got two jobs left up there to do. But what I wanted to do is just run through some of the bits and pieces that I've been using whilst prepping, and the tools. So I think I'll start with the tools and then we'll look at the materials, and then as the day progresses I'll show you how each of these tools are used. Each of these materials are used. Okay, so we'll start down this end, and we have a step up or a little stool. Now you've seen this probably in a few videos. This here, it was Zoe's grandpa's, and we've kept hold of it, and it's ideal. You know, Zoe's not quite tall enough for in here, but my big step ups are just slightly too big to use in here. But that helps Zoe get to the top of the walls. I use it as well when I'm plastering the ceilings in here. It just gives me a little bit of a step up so I'm not overstretching. Then I have a multi-tool with a wood and plastic bit on it, which I use for trimming around the doors. For example, I've got this piece here running up the stairs to do, and around the window. When we did put the plasterboard up, we just put the plasterboard over the window and then cut a small temporary square out of it. That's that. Tape measure, I don't need to, explain what that's for. I have a pair of tin snips, which I use for cutting the beading, corner beading and the stop beading, which goes around the doors and windows, etc. A pair of scissors for cutting the scrim tape. A couple of scrapers which I use to run down the scrim tape to make sure that it has contacted a good contact between the plasterboard or good contact to the plasterboard, and making sure that there's no loose ends, etc. with it. A couple of knives. Again, you can either use scissors or you can use a knife. Zoe prefers the scissors. I use both the scraper and a knife. A hammer and one other tool, or two other tools. One I forgot to put down here, and I've just noticed a couple of screws that are slightly out of place. My battery operated drill with a screwdriver bit in it, and obviously pencils for marking the beading. So that's that. Next I'm going to move over to the materials that I'm using, and then I'll demonstrate on one of these bits how to cut it. Okay. Right. We'll start here. Okay, I have a 4-inch scrim tape. Now, a scrim tape is, and I'll just get one that's open so that we can get a close-up. Tell me if I'm too close.
That's fine.
A scrim tape is fibres woven, and it has like a gum on the back of it. It's a bit similar to tape. Sorry, tape. I've got some actually, I don't know where it is. The Americans use like a paper in the joints. But this here is self-adhesive. It sticks to the walls. I don't have to pre-mud the walls in order to put this on, or pre-plaster anything to put it on. It just sticks to the walls, the ceilings, etc.
Same with the 4-inch.
Same, yeah.
And that's a 2-inch.
Yeah, that was a 2-inch that I just showed you. And it comes in two different colours. There's a grey and there's a white. It doesn't really matter what colour you use
As
at
long
all.
as you use it.
And I think, to be honest, a lot of it is down to the brand that it is. I mean, this one here is JRT Supply Limited, and this one here is made by Everbuild. I also have a 2-inch. Now I use the 4 inches in all the corners, so the joint between one wall and the next, and around where the ceiling meets the
Can't show them any at the moment.
that's fine, where the ceiling meets the wall. I think what I'm going to do later on is explain a bit why.
See, he's done it up there. I don't know if you can see. If you've done it, and then that's a 2-inch. So
That's fine, that's fine. The 2-inch I use in everywhere where there's just a flat surface. The reason for using these is every house moves. It doesn't matter whether or not it's a 200-300-year-old house, or a 100-year-old house like this one, or a brand new one. Every house moves, expands and contracts with the seasons. You know, timber, it doesn't stay stable. It depends on the moisture in the air and so on. What this will do, it doesn't stop the cracking in the joints, but it helps to minimise it. And just gives where the joints are some strength. That's those. Okay, then we have two types of beading. We have a corner or 90-degree beading, which is here, which I use around the windows. And then we have a stop bead here, which I use around the doors, such as here. And I'll just demonstrate quickly how to cut it. If Zoe wants to come in a bit closer, I'm just going to grab a bit of a drink because I'm getting a bit dry. Oh, and one other very important tool, and oh my god, Zoe really does make a good one. A cup of coffee.
stop taking the piss.
So, obviously, after we've measured it, what I will do is cut up like so along the marks, and then I flip it over to the other side. Okay, and once I've got it like that, then I'll just move it about a little bit, and the steel will weaken, and it's as simple as that. Okay.
And then you've got the nails too.
Thank you. Let me just grab one out, and I'll obviously put a load in my pocket in a moment. These are a 30mm clout nail. Some people call them a roofing nail. I've shown you these before, but they've got a nice flat round head on it, which just once they go in, okay, because you'll see here, if Zoe can get in it a bit closer, there is a slight lip on the corner of the where it rounds over on the beading, and the nail goes in and stays below that lip, so that when you plaster in, it's not up like so, and makes a mess. Okay, and all the nails are doing is literally holding the beading in place whilst you get the plaster on. I don't think they're an actual fixing of any shape or form. Okay, so that's that. Right, I think what we're going to do next is I'm going to get some beading cut for around one of the doors. No, I'm not. Sorry. I'll bring you back in a moment, and what we'll do is we'll do some trimming of the plasterboard so that it's ready to take the beadings. Okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do, if Zoe comes in and just does a quick close-up here.
Yeah, I've got it on close-up.
You can see that there's the plasterboard comes past the edge here of the staircase. So what I'm now going to do is just do a quick trim up here, and then I'll talk about the piece that's just below it. Okay, so be careful of these tools. They're sharp, and don't go touching the end here, because it will cut you. I know they say, oh, it won't cut you, but I wouldn't want to take the chance. So yeah, be careful. There's no guard with these, even my more expensive one, which is the Bosch. I'll tell you why I'm not using the Bosch. The Bosch only accepts the blades that Bosch make, and for one blade like this for Bosch is £13. I bought a set from Amazon of blades which came with, and I'll just get one. You've seen me use it before in a previous video. It came with a double socket and a single, which I thought was fantastic because we've got loads of plug sockets in this house to cut out for. It also came with one of these and 6 other blades. This one here I've completely ruined. Do not try and cut concrete board with it. It doesn't work. It ruins them. Okay, but anyway, that's a bit of health and safety out of the way. One last thing, and the reason I'm not wearing a mask is because I'm talking to you guys whilst doing this. But normally I would suggest wearing a mask, especially with the fireboard. Now, I've spoken about this fireboard before. This is a pink board and it is specially designed for fire. So a fireboard, and there's bits of fibres in it. We've had to do all the landing, the stairs, the top landing, this landing, the stairs down there and the hallway in this pink board because it's fire escape. We've also done underside of both sets of stairs with the fireboard as well. Anyway, so enough of the yabbering and we'll get on. We'll turn it on. I'll just stop it there. The reason I've just done that is it gives me a bit of room to work. It just stops the material from flapping. And also I've got quite, if Zoe actually comes over here, and I'll just show you here, I've got quite a tight corner here to get into. Now I have got a normal pad saw that I can get in there with, but this is far quicker to do it with. But what I'm going to do, so as you saw there, I was able to just get in there and you know, by changing the angle, slide it along between the wood and the plasterboard. I can do the same up here, but I'm gonna what I'll do now that Zoe's up a bit closer is I'll show you exactly what it was or how I was using the tool. You can see just here I'm not quite right with it, but what I'm going to do is in a moment I'll show you another tool, and I'm just going to run over with a rasp. I'm just going to go up the top here because it's going to be easier to come from that side over. There's not a lot of room to work, to be honest. Right, what I've got here is a rasp specially designed for drywall or plasterboard, depending on where you're from. It's by Marshalltown, which I believe is an American brand, and it's got ridges on it, which is a cutting blade, and then you know, the materials drops out here. It gives you something nice to hold on to. As you see here, this isn't quite right. All I'm going to do is just run the rasp over it. Okay, and that just neatens it off, brings the plasterboard flush with the edge of the stringer on the stairs. Okay, the next thing, I'm just going to stop again, go and get the tools and the bits and pieces, and then I'll show you how we're going to neaten up this edge here. Okay, what I want to do is bring this piece of plasterboard flush with this edge here. Okay, the edge of the other plasterboard. And what I've got here is a spirit level, and again I didn't really show you this tool, but it always comes in handy. I've got a few different brands of spirit levels, ranging from magnetic, you know, to this simple one here. And all I'm going to do is place it up on the wood, make sure that it's plumb. Okay, run my pencil down the edge like so. Okay, I know that's a tiny piece to be cutting out, but I think later on it'll just make that edge look just so much nicer. Okay, and then I'm going to use my multi-tool again. This time I've got to be careful that I don't cut or mark too much the timber that's behind it, so I'm going to be really careful as I go down through. Okay. What you'll probably notice I've done there is I've not gone all the way through. I did down here, that was a little tiny mistake, but I haven't marked the wood. That's a good thing. What I'm now going to do is grab hold of my knife, and I'm just going to run the blade through the paper down that edge. Like so, and hopefully if this knife's sharp enough, okay, just to get in there. And that's just left that a nice neat edge, okay? Right, whilst you're there, I'll be 2 seconds, and I noticed something else that we just needed a quick adjustment, and I'll do that whilst you're there, okay? If you notice just here and here, the heads of the screws are just slightly too proud of the plasterboard, so I'm just going to go in and push them in. Okay, I've just driven it in. Still a little proud, but not that much it's going to make too much of a problem. The thing with these screws is you don't want to go in too far, because otherwise it will just pull through the plasterboard, and you know the screw then becomes useless. I've got another one here. Okay, another one just there. Another one just there. It's just a matter then of just going over each screw. Okay, if you can't feel them with your finger as you're going over them, they're fine. If you can feel them slightly proud, okay, just push them in a little. That's fine. That one's a little proud. Okay. Another one up here. Better. Okay, that just helps then when you come over to plaster. The next thing, if you see here the paper's a bit loose, this might be me being a bit finicky, but where the paper's slightly loose, just run over it with your knife and take it off. Okay, so that's now ready to be done. I'm just going to take a wander around and have a look and see what else is next. Okay. What I like to do is use the one tool and do everything with that tool, and then I'll pack that tool away, clean up after it, and move on to the next job. Okay, so I'm just going to have a little wander around and see what's next. Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry about the mess. I know you can see plasterboard and probably everything else in this room, but this tends to be one of the rooms that we put all the materials, tools, etc. in. But this is the next door jamb that, or door frame that I'm going to have to do. The reason this board comes past the door frame is because it needs to be fire sealed. And obviously we know that wood is a combustible, so it was brought past, but we never trimmed it off, so I'm just going to do that now. I've got this one and the bathroom. I won't bore you with the bathroom, but I'll just do this one as another demonstration. The reason I'm coming at it from this angle here instead of coming at it from the outside of the door frame is that I can use the door frame as a guide to keep my tool straight and make sure that, you know, I'm staying on line. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top and then work my way down to the bottom, obviously. I do apologise about the cutting of the door. For some reason the phone decided that it was full. and I'm waiting for some of the videos to upload, and it just seems to be quite slow on doing so. What I've done off camera is I've obviously cut around all the doors that needed to be done. What I've then also done is I've taken a spirit level and put a line around this window so that I've got a guide, because it's a lot harder to come in from this side with it. So I've done that with the spirit level. That gives me a guide then of where to go. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this, and I think you might have seen quite a bit of me cutting this, so I'll shift out of the way. Yeah, I think you've seen quite a bit of me cutting the plasterboard, so what I think we'll do is leave it there for a sec whilst I just cut around this window, and then I'll bring you back for the next steps.
This video is running a bit longer than I would like, so we're going to split this into 2 parts. On the next part we'll get on with the prep.
Stay safe if you can. Why not give it a go? I'm sure you can. If I can do it, anybody can.